Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have Easter Dollar Tree DIYs. I have 8 DIYs and my theme is traditional, really cute Easter DIYs. So let's get started with the first one. We're going to do the new ones first. For this DIY, I wanted to see if I could turn one of these wood hearts from the Dollar Tree into a bunny head. Upside down like this. I have a vision. You'll see here in just a minute. I was thinking the bottom of the heart would be like the chubby cheeks of the bunny rabbit. So the first thing I do is just remove the hanger because I don't need that. We're going to have it upside down. For the fur, I'm going to use one of the microfiber mop heads from the Dollar Tree. Now, you could do this 2 ways. You could cover the entire heart with it and make it furry, but you know what? I really love that wood heart with the distressing on there. I think it's really pretty. So I'm gonna leave mine exposed, so it's kind of up to you. You could cover the whole thing and have a fluffy bunny, or you could just do it the way I do. So I am just cutting off that corner. I wanna make sure that I cut the fur down where you won't be able to see it from the front. So I had to cut it several times here just to take on the shape of the heart. Now be aware when you cut that microfiber mop head, it does shed a lot, but it's really fluffy. And instead of having to stuff it to make it look like a plush bunny in the front, I think it's gonna be just fine just because it's so thick and fluffy. I just add hot glue to the back of my heart and I've put my fur inside the heart for the bunny head. Now I kind of push it through a little bit so it looks more arched out a little bit and almost stuffed with all that plush on there. And I really like the look of that. I think it looks really cute. I'm just trimming up any of the excess fluff that might be seen on the other side. See how you can kind of push it through the heart like that where it is puffy? And it kind of keeps its shape. I thought at first I was going to have to stuff it to get that shape, but it really kept the little chubby cheeks there all on its own. For the eyes, I'm going to use some black macrame cord from the Dollar Tree. You could use yarn, anything you've got. You could even use twine for this and paint it. I just put down a circle of hot glue and spiral my macrame cord from the outside in until I have 2 little circles about the same size here. Once you get them like that, you can peel them off, especially if you're working on a silicone mat like that, and then trim off any of the excess strings on there. And you're gonna have a cute little eye that looks sewn, almost like, and we're gonna have like a little stuffed animal face on this. So mine were not exactly symmetrical, so I'm just gonna trim down my largest one to make it the same size as this one. And I was trying to decide if I wanted them up like that. And then I was thinking they probably should be a little bit more out to the side like that. I'm not going to have a lot of room for his nose and his mouth, but I have enough, I think. So I add a little hot glue here to the first eye, pushing that down into the fluff. The fluff like slightly comes over it, which gives it a lot of character. And we have 2 little bunny eyes for this bunny. We're also going to be using those bunny ears that you see there from the Dollar Tree for the bunny ears for the top. Now for the nose, I don't have that color of pink in macrame cord, so I'm just going to use white. Again, you could use twine for this too if you don't have any of this. And I just did a triangle of hot glue, an upside down triangle, and I just spiral around just like I did with the eye to fill the whole thing up. And since I don't have the color I wanted for this, and I do want him to have a little pink nose and mouth, I'm just going to paint it. So once I get it the way I like it, I'm also going to need some string for the mouth. So I'm just using some pink polish paint here, something very cute and pastel for his nose, and just using a brush and just painting the macrame cord. You could also paint the twine if that's how you made yours. And then I'm also going to paint just the loose string because we're going to use that to make the mouth of the bunny. And that looks pretty good. We can start putting this together. I made a plush bunny using those stackable eggs from the Dollar Tree, and I made a similar face, and it looked so cute. So it gave me an idea to do that with this one too. I just attached a little bunny nose right there at where the heart comes up like that. And then I'm also going to do the mouth coming all the way over to this part. I was trying to keep it on the fluff if I can and not necessarily on the wood heart. Now, if you were to cover the entire front of it with the fur, the microfiber fur, you might be able to have this go down a little bit, but I had enough room, I think, to get the face on there. These are the bunny ears that I'm going to use. These are the bunny ears from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to show you how I did mine originally. I do go back and change them a little bit because I wanted to do something a little bit different with them. But what I was thinking is they have that plastic stem in there that helps keep them stand up, it keeps them firm. And so I make sure that is low enough down where I can staple it, and I staple that through. That's a really thick frame, so I just use my staple gun and put a couple staples in there until my bunny's ear stands up, and you kind of have to do it until you catch that plastic right inside. So we're going to do the same thing here with our second little bunny ear. Again, just using the plastic that was in there. I end up going back and replacing that because I wanted my ears to bend. I kind of forgot that the Dollar Tree ears are not very flexible like that. And it is coming together really cute, our little fluffy bunny. I do want to make this a standing sign, so I'm going to take a little bit of craft wood and just cut it down a little bit larger than the bunny itself. I want it to look like the bunny's head's like peeking out of the grass, so I cut down that little board and we're going to cover that with moss to get that grassy look. This is a pretty wide frame, so I can just attach it with hot glue, wood to wood here, and stand that up on the wood side. Then it's time to make it look like the grass. I'm just going to use the reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue that all over the stand where you can see this. I'm not going to do it on the back because it's not really necessary, but the front ledge, the sides, the very front, and the ends, anywhere where you're going to be able to see that, I just glue on the reindeer moss. Now, if you want to recreate this cute little guy, but you can't find that wood heart at your Dollar Tree, I think you could probably recreate something pretty similar if you use some cardboard, cut down a heart shape. I bet it would be all covered with fur, like the alternate option. So this is what it looks like so far, and then I was like, you know what? I want my ears to bend. So I just took the staples out, removed my ears, and I'm going to wire them so that I can make at least one of the ears floppy. The strongest wire I could find at Dollar Tree was the wired jute, so that's what we're going to use. I'm going to make sure to make it a little bit longer than I need and loop that in with the ends sticking out of the ear. The reason I want to leave it longer, it's going to make it easier to staple to that frame in the back. And these are going to be great because I can shape the bunny ears however I want to give my bunny a little bit more personality. So just like before, I'm going to use my staple gun, and if you didn't have a staple gun, you could try hot gluing that on. I think if you got the wire glued on well, they would stand up. And I am just going to simply staple on each one of the wires, also catching the fabric. Now I can shape them a little bit and make them have a little bit of personality for our bunny rabbit. I thought about making both of the ears curved like that, but I kind of like one curved and one straight up like that. I think that's cute. And this is how he turned out. Our little fluffy bunny rabbit made out of the wood heart from the Dollar Tree. I had a vision with this. I think it does kind of look like a bunny. But it was really fun to make. And after I made it, I was like, I wonder if I should have covered the entire thing with fur. And then I'm like, no, I really do like that wood sign. And I think it adds to the artistic appeal of this DIY. For this DIY, I wanted to make an Easter candle. So I'm going to start with a candle holder and one of the flat candle trays from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to put these together and make a really precious Easter candle. The first thing I do is just remove all of the tags. The flat one was really easy compared to this one. And I'm going to use these little wood bunnies from the Dollar Tree. They come 12-piece to a package, so that's a pretty good deal. They already have bunny tails on them, so they're ready to go. I want to attach these all the way around. So I was kind of seeing about how many would fit. And I end up using a total of 8, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and glue one here. And I'm going to make that symmetrical so it'll all be even. So I take the next bunny and I glue it to the opposite side. And I'm making sure my bunny ears are towards the top of the glass so I'll have room to decorate at the bottom. So I just go straight across, and then at 90-degree angle, I can put a third one, and then that leaves enough room in between to put one on each side. So a total of 8. So one package of these is definitely going to be enough, and they fit in there just perfectly on this size of the candle holder. If you had a different size, you could always improvise, see what's going to fit on yours. And at first I was going to paint the little bunnies, but I kind of like just the plain wood look of them. And then you would also have to remove all of your bunny tails, so keep that in mind if you want to paint yours. I've used hot glue on the sides of my candles before and never had any trouble with the Gorilla Glue hot glue and the heat of the candle, so they should stay on there just fine. But it basically made a little cage, and all of those little bunny shapes should light up and give me a fun pattern with the bunny shapes. Now for this, I'm going to attach the candle holder to the base. I did this because I want to make like a candle ring to go around it, and this is the easiest way I found to do it. Since I'm doing glass to glass, I'm going to do a strong Gorilla Glue combo with some hot glue. So the hot glue will make it stick now, but the other glue will make it more permanent. I'm going to be using a real candle in this, so I definitely want this to be sturdy. So that's what it looks like so far. Then we're going to do eggs and grass. We're going to use reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree. And check out these cute little foam Easter eggs I found at Dollar General for $1 the other day. I've been a little concerned with Dollar Tree's options lately, so I've been having to branch out a little bit, and Dollar General had some really cute stuff too. Now for the base, I want it to look like there are eggs hidden in the grass for Easter. I'm going to get that look with reindeer moss. I think that's the easiest way. What I'm doing is I'm gluing on the base of the candle holder underneath where the bunny is, almost covering up the very bottom of their feet, but I'm also gluing it to the glass below. And I want it to go all the way around so the whole thing is covered in that mossy grass material, and then we can hide the Easter eggs in it. This turned out so cute. It was really easy to make. Now for the outer edge, you can still see the glass. I would rather you just be able to see the moss. So I'm just going to pull some strips and glue those onto the very edges so everything is covered there except for the little bunny rabbits that you see. Now that I have that all glued on, I can trim it up to make it look a little bit more round here. And now it's time to hide the Easter eggs. Isn't that so cute? I love how this project turned out, and it was really easy to make. These foam eggs are perfect. Now, if you can't find these and you want to use the wood eggs from the Dollar Tree, I think they're about the same size. You could do that, but you would have to paint them. The thing I liked about these is they're not glittery, and they're already the colors of foam that you want them to be. So I just do 2 of each color, rotating them into a pattern like that, blue, yellow, pink, and green. And we're going to pop a Dollar Tree candle in there, just an ivory candle. You really can't find a lot of color variation on this size candle from the Dollar Tree, but I think that will be fine. Pop that in the top, and we have an Easter candle DIY. So cute. I love pastel colors for Easter, and I think the little wood bunnies look so cute here on the side of the candle. What do you guys think about this DIY? Aren't those eggs really cute? I was really happy to have found those at Dollar General. And of course, I'm going to show you what it looks like lit up. So it's not technically nighttime when I'm taking this picture, but you can kind of get the gist of it. It gives you a really cool pattern there with the light up silhouette of the bunny rabbits. Really cute. And again, it was a really easy DIY that I made today. Daytime and also lit up. Now for the next Easter Dollar Tree DIY, I wanted to see if I could make a really cute little chick sign. So I'm using a chick board sign from the Dollar Tree, one of their square wood signs from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I want to do is just fill the hole in the little chick with some spackle, so you won't be able to see that in the final project. And we're actually going to cover it with the Dollar Tree shelf liner. I'm always looking for interesting materials to craft with from the Dollar Tree. And this is like a white ivory color, so I think it'll be easy to paint, take on whatever color I want. I want to leave the white chick, the white wood, but then I thought I would paint the shelf liner to give it a really fun texture. So I'm going to need that first sheet that I cut down the size of the chick to be yellow. I thought the easiest way to do that would be with a roller. These are the paint rollers from the Dollar Tree. But you could always use something, anything foam, because you don't want the paint to pool in between the holes of the shelf liner. So I'm just going over it, trying to get an even coat, trying not to push too hard because I don't want too much paint to come out and block any of the holes. There was a few areas that did, but if I just go back over it with my foam brush like that while it's still wet, then I can get it painted perfectly. I thought that the little feet of the chick and the beak of the chick should be a different color, so I'm going to cut out rectangle for each one of those and we can paint those orange. Now for this one I'm going to show you, I just used the stencil dauber from the Dollar Tree, so it can be really anything foam. You just don't really want any of that paint to get trapped down there. You want that great texture to show through in the end. For the wood side, I'm so glad that Dollar Tree started getting these in a square shape now. I think that's really fun. We're going to DIY this with some of the craft fur that's new this year for Easter. I got some in blue, and this is going to be my sky. If you can't find this, you could always just paint the sky blue. It would be an easy fix, but I kind of like it as a sky. I think it's blue and fluffy. And the sky kind of reminds me of blue fluffy. So I just cut it down a little bit so I can cover a little bit more than half of the sign. And I just put hot glue here on the back, and we're just going to hot glue this faux fur down to the sign right there, corner to corner. I want this to look like the chick is outside in the sky, with the sky behind him, grass underneath of him, and flowers all around. So for the grass, I'm going to use the faux grass rolls from the Dollar Tree Plus. These things are great for crafting. I love them. I always try to pick them up. I'm going to cut down a rectangle. It is just the perfect width here. And if you turn it over, you can cut a straight line because you can see the little lines there on the back of the grass. And so I want that to be straight. The sides were already perfect, so I just need to make sure my initial cut is straight as well. And we can add the grass to our sign. I thought this would be really fun for Easter. I wanted this sign to have a lot of personality. So again, I'm going to use hot glue and glue down our grass here under our fluffy sky. I wasn't sure at first this project was going to work because I was using a lot of odd materials, but I really love how everything came together. It definitely has a lot of personality in the end. So my little chick will be sitting in the grass like that with the sky behind him. So it's time to apply our shelf liner to it. See, the white will come through since it's already white, and I think that's going to look really cool, and you'll be able to see all the fun texture of the shelf liner. So I just take an ink pen and I trace out the shape of the chick. I don't need the beak and I don't need the leg, so I just left those parts out and connected the lines. And now I'm going to go in here and I cut my, did you see that? I cut my silicone mat. It's okay, it was already cut. I really do need a new one. I'm usually pretty good about using my cutting mats on these when I'm using a razor blade, but I must have let one slip by and it had already cut my mat. So definitely going to need to go on Amazon to get another silicone mat. I've wore this one out pretty good. So I cut out my chick and now I need to do the feet. I'm going to do that the same way. I flip them over so they'll be going the right direction, and I can just use my ink pen to draw out the shape of the chick feet. Also the little opening here in between the two legs. And I'll cut those a little longer, the legs, so I'll cut them down to size perfectly once I see how long I need. And I probably could have drawn these on there a little bit better because I don't cut the fluff around the legs very well. But I did a pretty good job trying to cut out the feet, and then I adjusted the size of the legs so they don't really overlap. And then I also want to cut out that little triangle kind of shape in between the two legs. And I need to do the same thing here for the little chick beak. Just going to trace out the triangles of the beak there and cut this down to size. Well, I bought this shelf liner for crafting material and I had no idea what I was going to use with it, but I think that this turned out really good. I had gotten a little bit of paint on my chick there, so I went ahead and wiped that off, and then I'm going to cover the entire chick with some matte Mod Podge here, a nice thick layer. First, I attached the little feet, and then I attached the beak, and you want to make sure that you get it wet enough so everything sticks. I'm going to make sure this is super wet here for the yellow chick. Isn't that so cute? I really love how this turned out, and whenever I craft with unique materials like this from the Dollar Tree, I'm always happy with how they turn out. I'm going to trim that little beak up a little bit, and then for the eye, I'm just going to use a Sharpie and not push down very hard. So I'm just going to make a little circle on there. That way I don't want to get any Sharpie on that back sign. I just want it to be like the rest of it. But I did want him to have a little eye there. So now it's time to attach our chick to our sign. I found that the grass stuck out more than the fur, so I'm only going to glue it down here because it's going to have like a little bit of room behind it there with the fur, but I can take advantage of that because I wanted to add Easter eggs and flowers to this. For the Easter eggs, I'm using the small wood Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree. I think I have room for like 3. I think an odd number would look good. I'm just going to paint them different pastel colors. I love using makeup sponges for painting these small items from the Dollar Tree. They work so well. And I haven't been able to find them lately at Dollar Tree, so I've been having to get them on Amazon, but they're pretty cheap on there. You can probably get them just about anywhere else. I did pink, turquoise, and a lilac color here. So a little bit of variety, but I get all those pastel colors and painted our little eggs, and we're going to hide them in the grass here around the Easter chick. I just use hot glue and push that down into the grass so it kind of glues it to that black mat that's behind it. And make sure that I get really good contact by pushing that down. And I'm going to do the same thing there with all 3 of the little Easter eggs. Now it's looking really cute, but I want it to look fun for spring. So we're going to make it into like a little flower garden around him too. So I just picked all of my tiniest flowers that I have from the Dollar Tree in whites and pinks. And I'm going to first scatter some around to see what I like. Some of these pull-offs, above them you have to cut off like the little baby's breath that you saw there, the pink ones. And then I thought maybe some longer ones here for the side where I have a little bit of room. I can do like an entire little flower there. Super cute. And I also want to decorate the sky area there because I don't really have a lot going on up here. I thought about doing a little polyfill cloud up there, but I didn't think it was really necessary. I thought flowers would be cute behind the little chick. And now it's time to start gluing everything down. The grass is really easy to glue stuff down into. Just put a little glue on there and glue it down. I want it to look like everything is kind of standing upright, like the same direction that the chick is. And I just start gluing my little flowers all around wherever I think they would look good, just alternating the white and the pink. And I'm going to make this one a little bit easier to go in there by maybe taking a branch off there and just gluing that in the recess there behind the chick. And for the pink one, I thought it would be a little bit better to take this one apart and glue everything in to make it lay a little bit better. And maybe we'll do another one of these. Make it fit here to alternate the color to look like a little flower garden. So lots of flowers for spring, and Easter eggs too is really going to make this little chick sign pop. I just needed a few more flowers. You know, you always need to add a couple more. And I was happy with how that looks so far. Now, I thought the hanger was a little boring, so I thought we can make it really pop with some Easter ribbon. This is the blue and white gingham. It is a wired ribbon. So what I'm going to do is just pinch for a tail and twist there for a bow. And then I have to twist again just to make sure that it's not a two-sided ribbon. And pinching it in the middle, I'm going to twist and do a second loop. And I'm only going to do 2 loops on each side. Again, I'm just pinching everything in the middle and then cutting off a second tail. I want to pull my other tail down so it's the same direction. And I'm not going to use a zip tie or anything. I'm just going to use some twine and tie it all together. That way I don't have to cover up a zip tie. I just tie the twine onto the existing hanger, making sure it is right there in the middle. And then I flip that over, I tie it a couple times there on the back so I can hide the knot there on the back. And it just makes it a little bit cleaner. Now it's just time to shape this bow and make it pretty. I love this ribbon. I think it coordinates nicely. It's not too busy. So I just fluff up my ribbon, and then I'm just going to need to cut my tails down. I want them to be rather short but dovetailed, and I try to get them about the same length. And this is how it turned out, our little Easter chick sign. It's so fun. I can't wait for my son to see this one. He's really gonna like it, I think. Definitely has a lot of personality with that fur, the shelf liner on the chick, and we have the faux grass down below, which I usually use that for my Easter table, but I'm glad I got multiple rolls of it this year so that I can craft with it as well. Isn't that so fun? I really love this one. For the next Easter Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to use some of this felt bunny garland from the Dollar Tree, and I thought we could make an Easter floral arrangement using one of their metal buckets. I chose a yellow and white bucket because I thought that'd be really bright for spring, so I was trying to decide what color bunny I wanted, and I decided to go with kind of a hot pink color to match the vibrancy of that yellow. And I'm going to make it into like a little pillow on a stake for the floral. So I kind of want the front and the back to be the same color. And I actually had 2 packages of this, so I can do that. But if you only have 1 package, you could probably use the corresponding color there. Like there was another pink that was about the same color. And one of these is going to be the front, and one of these is going to be the back. And then I'm just going to stuff it a little bit in between. The little tail does get in the way, so I'm just going to pop that off for the bottom one. So my bunny ears go the same direction, and I don't mind the holes there in the top. I'm actually going to take advantage of those. For the ears, I'm not going to really need those to be stuffed, so I'm just going to use hot glue to glue those together. Start lining up this bunny. And then for the existing holes, I'm just going to take some twine and feed that through and tie a bow here on the top of the bunny head, and it's a great way to cover that up on one of these little bunnies if you're going to reuse it for something like this. I just want a little tiny bow right there at the top, not something that's really going to take away a lot from it. And now we can start stuffing it and putting it on a little dowel. I'm going to use a little polyfill. The head doesn't really require very much. I just put some hot glue on each side, gluing that together, and it makes a little pocket that I can start stuffing the head a little bit. And I thought that stuffing this would just make it look a little bit more 3-dimensional and better as a large Easter floral pig. For the sides, I just do the sides and the feet, again making a larger pocket this time, and just using some Dollar Tree polyfill, I'm just going to stuff this one as well. And before I close it all up, I'm going to also add a Dollar Tree dowel so I can make a little stake out of this to go in my floral. So I put hot glue on the felt, I also put it on the dowel, and I put everything together, kind of sandwiching the dowel in there like that. Now it's time to make our floral. I'm using one of the buckets from the Dollar Tree. They have these little green foam pieces that fit perfectly inside, and I thought we could make it look like wildflowers. Thought that'd be really pretty for spring, but I also want a little bit of greenery in there. These yellow flowers that I got from the Dollar Tree have some nice greenery on them, so I'm just leaving the metal stakes on them and leaving the greenery on them, and it's a great way to use those after you've already used the flowers for something else. And I'm gonna add yellow. I want all kinds of spring colored flowers in this, and I want it to be really colorful, lots of different colors. So I also have this pink flower, which is the same thing as the yellow one that you see there, just a different color. And I think these are just called wildflowers, if I remember right. And again, I'm just cutting them all off about the same height here. For white flowers, I have a little bit of baby's breath. I'm going to add some of that, give a little pop of white. And I really just want it to look varied, like you would see with wildflowers. And it's a great way to use some of these flowers that I only have one thing left on, because I'm definitely going to save those. So those flowers are white, but they're a little bit different. And then I'm going to add some more greenery here as I go, using that same greenery. And I just kept kind of adding to mine with whites, pinks, yellows. I'm even going to add some blue here. And all tiny flowers, but I just keep adding to it until I'm happy with it. And then to cover the foam in there, I'm going to use a little bit of reindeer moss. I have a lot of flowers in there, so it doesn't take much. And I left the center empty so I can put in my little bunny stake here, going to be kind of the start of the show. I also put some hot glue so my dowel doesn't sink lower down into the foam, and it stays up like this so you can see it well. And then I also wanted to add some Easter eggs to this. So I'm going to finish off my moss back there to the back, and then I'm going to use some skewers from the Dollar Tree and these cute little foam eggs from the Dollar General to make some little egg stacks that are going to be kind of tiny. So I think that's going to look really good. I'm just going to take the little skewers and start cutting those down about what I want and just pushing those into my eggs and making little floral picks. I want to, vary the colors, like some yellow, some blue. I want to do like an odd number, but just scatter them around. I'm really only using them on the front and the sides where you can really see them. But I think it adds a fun little touch to all the flowers, having some little Easter eggs peeking out. And this would brighten up any corner for Easter. You could use this in your kitchen, your office, your bathroom even. It's not very big, but I think it's really cute and it really screams spring. Now, I thought my little yellow white bucket was a little plain, so I'm going to dress it up with some Easter window decals. I think this one's perfect. It looks just like the flowers almost that I added to it. Now, it doesn't want to stick on its own, but I can put a little bit of Mod Podge here on the back of it and make a little sticker that we can stick there on the front of our yellow and white bucket. And I think those are perfect. So here it is, our little Easter floral arrangement with the pink felt bunny. I've been wanting to use those garland bunnies for something, so I'm glad I thought of something fun to make with them. But I used the bold pink one. You could really use any color that you want. And all of our wildflowers and Easter eggs below in that bright yellow and white bucket with flowers on it as well. I think it's really pretty. What do you guys think about this one? And up next, we're going to have more Easter DIYs I've made on my channel. And we're going to be doing a fuzzy little Easter bunny on a beautiful spring wood round. For the wood round, we're using just a Dollar Tree wood round. And what I want to do is cover it with some of the Dollar Tree scrapbook paper. This pack is called Frozen, and I really like that color right on top. The light blue color, and the scrapbook paper is great because it's large enough to cover the Dollar Tree wood rounds when regular like 8.5 by 11 is too small. I'm just going to flip mine over, just use a pencil to sketch out my circle so I can go ahead and cut that out. And then we can use that to cover the wood round. If you don't have any scrapbook paper, you could always paint it blue. You're going to get a very similar effect, but I think using paper kind of makes it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to carefully try to cut out a circle. Why is cutting a circle so difficult? But if I don't get it exactly perfect, I can always sand the edges of it once I attach it. So as you can see, it fits perfectly on there. You don't have to pair anything together. So we're just going to use Mod Podge on the wood round. I'm going to do a nice coat of Mod Podge all over. Try to make sure I get all of the edges and everything like that. And the cardstock's not super heavy. And it kind of has like a shiny side and a flat side. I'm going to use the shiny side up and just lay that on my Mod Podge, smoothing it out, making sure I don't have any bubbles. Sometimes a paper towel, like a dry paper towel, can help with that because you don't want to, you want to kind of dry any glue that might have seeped out. Now, once I got that on there, I just went around and sanded all the edges to give me that perfect round shape because my cutting may not have been so precise. What I want to do is do like a blue floral background and then do a really cute little fuzzy Easter bunny for right on top. And I absolutely love how this one turned out. Now, for the hanger, I just need to go ahead and pop the holes through the scrapbook paper where the existing holes are. One of the Cricut weeders work really great for that. And we could restring a hanger on that and kind of get this part of the sign prepared. Hey, I found one of these little yarn keepers from the Dollar Tree the other day, and I thought that would be great for my twine to keep it clean on my workbench and stuff like that, and to keep like the end out. And look how cool that is. Great find for $1.25. I like to string mine through and knot them on the front. I find that my thinner Dollar Tree signs like this hang a little bit better when I do it that way, and I just make a hanger for it. Now, this is the Easter bunny I chose. It is like the white wood Easter bunny from Dollar Tree. Super cute. I love DIYing with this bunny. And I can kind of see the areas of blue that are visible, and I wanted to use some of the little rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. They have a couple versions of these with leaves. I didn't really want tropical for this one, so I'm kind of just trimming out, the greenery that's not necessarily like palm leaves and stuff like that. I can save those for another more coastal DIY. And the great thing about these is you just peel and stick. So I went ahead and put the bunny on there just so I kind of know what's going to be visible and what's not. And then I just scrape those on. Um, Sometimes these work better than others. You just need to get a good scraping on there. And if you start peeling it up and you find that it's not all down, just place it right back down and you can usually fix that. But I'm doing some of the larger ones here on the side because I have like a little bit more room. And we're going to be adding flowers to this later too, but this is going to be the greenery. We're using a lot of spring florals for these DIYs today. I think I'm really into flowers for spring this year, a little bit more than even normal. So I wanted to do a lot of spring flowers today in these DIYs. So I'm gonna do all the areas that are kind of visible. So I even did the top and the side here and just kind of random, really no rhyme or reason. I want it to kind of look like, like a wallpaper background or something like that. And I have a little bit of room here at the bottom, so I have some smaller leaves too. So I might as well add some greenery right down there too. I want it to look not so plain, and that did a great job with that. Now, for the Easter bunny, I told you I wanted to make a fuzzy Easter bunny, so let's do that. I start with the sign, I just removed the hanger, and we're going to be using one of the little automotive towels from Dollar Tree because I wanted a fuzzy bunny, but I didn't want it quite as fuzzy as the mop heads because those are really thick. I just wanted a fuzzy one, and these are the fuzziest towels. I love DIYing with these. So as you can see, I can just cover the Easter bunny with the towel. So I'm going to flip it over upside down like this. The fuzzier side is on the bottom there. And then I'm just going to use a Sharpie to kind of loosely sketch out the Easter bunny. I'm trying not to get too close to the Easter bunny um, because I want to be able to cut off all of the color that we're adding here because of course it's a white Easter bunny. I don't want like all the blue lines on there. So it's going to be a little bit more challenging to cut out, but I thought this was probably the easiest way to do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of cut the square out and then just going around with some of my sharpest scissors, trying to actually just cut this Sharpie line off, which was a little tricky. And I did have to go back and kind of touch it up here and there to try to get all that off. Again, this is going to be the back of the bunny, but being white, the Sharpie might show through. I don't know, you kind of have to use a marker. I guess you could have used maybe a little bit of a lighter color, but you're still going to have to kind of cut all of that off. So I'm just going to carefully go around the sketch of the bunny. There's really no crazy shapes. Probably the most difficult part was like the little bunny cheeks there, but it doesn't have to be too intricate. Just like a little bumpy over here. And I love how this turned out. This is like probably one of my favorite ways to cover one of the bunnies from the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love decorating for Easter. I have like an Easter bunny collection that I started right out of college. And oh, it's like one of my favorite things to decorate for because I think the little fuzzy bunnies are so cute. So I went ahead and trimmed the rest of it off and then flip it over, and you can see how fuzzy and cute this little bunny is. I'm going to go ahead and lay that on top. And you can kind of like spread it out with your hands to kind of, get all of the fuzziness to kind of go the same direction. So I'm just making sure that it's going to fit really well. Nothing's really going to overhang. And now it's just a matter of gluing it on. I just started here at the bottom of the bunny and did a bead of hot glue right down there. I guess you could use Mod Podge if you wanted, but it is a pretty heavy towel that you're attaching to it. So thought hot glue would work well, and it actually did. You can't really see any of the hot glue through it. It doesn't seep through or anything like that. So I just kind of do one little section here at a time with the bunny, hot gluing that down. I'm not going to give it any details or anything like that because it's going to be the back of the bunny. And we can go ahead and start kind of laying out what this is going to look like by putting it on the little blue floral background. It's going to fit on there nicely. It's going to overlap the edges a little bit, but I kind of like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing it down. I am going to do a bunny tail on that, but I'm going to go ahead and glue it down to the wood round right now. Just kind of putting hot glue all over. There was a little bit of bow in the bunny, so I want it to be flat against the wood round. And it's a nice substantial piece now. Combining it with that thinner wood round, it makes it look a little bit more high end. So just making sure everything is glued down, we can start working on the bunny tail. This is a bunny tail I'm going to use. It's from the Little Bunny Yarn Craft Kit from the Easter section at Dollar Tree. There's lots of other options you could use for bunny tails too, but I really like the look of this and I really like the pink color. So I'm just going to attach that little pom-pom with hot glue for a nice fluffy bunny tail. And then for the flowers, I'm going to use some of the soft pink baby's breath from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to pull the actual petals off of these and attach those to the sign, kind of over on the sides where I kind of have more room, where I can kind of scatter out flowers. You can see how cute that looks. It gives another like 3D aspect to the sign, kind of like the fuzzy bunny right on top. So I start with just one flower, even though the baby's breath are like 2 flowers combined. I'm just going to do one layer at a time and just kind of scatter those around, just hot gluing those down with a dot of hot glue. And I love that. I think that really finished off that floral background for this little Easter decoration. So cute. I did 3 on the right and 3 on the left. And then I just need to go through and kind of get my second flower to glue on top to kind of make them look a little bit more full. So then I am just going to do a dot of hot glue in the middle of each one of those flowers and add my second layer. Just made them look even prettier. I thought about like doing something for the center of the flowers, but you know what? I don't think it really needs that. And this is how it turned out, our little fluffy bunny on a floral background. I think it is beautiful. And you can just see how fuzzy it is and cute. Really a fun way to decorate one of those little Easter bunnies with a big pink fluffy bunny tail. Absolutely adorable. And I just love the flowers on there. I think it just really kind of makes the piece. I wanted to take one of these little 10 Easter buckets from the Dollar Tree. Isn't this so cute with the little bunny and the eggs on there? And I wanted to see if I can make an egg topiary using these beautiful flocked Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree. I also used these on my Easter coffee bar. I made a garland with them. I absolutely love them. They're my favorite like big egg they've ever had at the Dollar Tree. So I also picked up one of the little foam circle pieces from the Dollar Tree. They fit in those little buckets perfectly, and I think that's going to make the perfect pot for our topiary. Now, the little flocked, or I guess the big flocked Easter eggs all have a ornament hanger on them. So they do have a hole drilled in one side. I just cut off the ribbon. And then I'm going to use one of these wood dowels from the Dollar Tree. I was worried that it wouldn't be long enough, and it was barely long enough, but you could always use like the little hot dog sticks or whatever kind of dowels that you have. I want my eggs all to be like pointy side up, all going the same direction. So I'm going to start here with the pink one for the very top. I just put the dowel in the hole to make sure it's nice and sturdy and doesn't go anywhere, since I can't stick it in very far because my dowel is not that long. I do make sure to hot glue that in place. And so that is the very top. Now for the next piece, I kind of need to pop a hole here in the middle. I just use a little tiny screwdriver that I have from the Dollar Tree to poke a hole to get me started. And then I just push the dowel down through, trying to come out the other side, approximately close to where the hole is. I did a pretty good job. You do have to kind of push to kind of drill that hole through there, but then just slide this up. I'm going to do pink, yellow, blue. They also had green. If you like that color better, I just wanted an alternate. And this is kind of similar to how I stacked the tinier flocked Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree and made my DIY candle holders in a previous video. So I'm going to put the third one on. We're going to do blue, started at the tip, poked a hole in it, went all the way through, and that looks pretty good actually. So I'm going to use that same screwdriver and some hot glue to poke a hole in the floral foam in our little tin Easter bucket and sit it on there, trying to make sure it is all even. Everything is stacked evenly as it should and straight up and down like the topiary that I wanted. Now, this is the other floral moss. I told you I had two different colors. This is the green floral moss. And you could also use the reindeer moss for this, but I'm going to use this to cover up the foam here at the very bottom. And so I just put a little bit of hot glue on the foam just to glue it in place so it doesn't fall out while I'm working with it. And there's not a lot of room there to fill in because those little foam pieces fit in the buckets great. And if you can't find one of the Easter buckets, you could get one of the plain ones, kind of personalize it if you wanted. Even plain would be super cute for this, or a little pot too. I'm also going to put some of the floral moss in between each egg. And I'm also going to use greenery like Easter or spring florals to kind of decorate this a little bit more so it's not so plain. So I just went all the way around and hot gluing that floral moss in between my yellow and my blue egg. And I wanted it to look springy. That's why I wanted to use like the green color floral moss instead of the brown. So I'm going to do the same thing here between the pink and the yellow. I'm not using a lot, just enough to kind of give you an effect and try not to get too much of that messy moss on my flocked eggs. These are the flowers we're using, the Tweety. I thought these looked really springy. They're little white and yellow flowers from the Dollar Tree. Now they have two different sizes. There's like a 6 and a 3 petal one. I'm going to kind of alternate, like this is the 6 one. And then up next, I'm going to do a 3 one. So it's all kind of alternate. So I'll do the 3 one here on top with a 6 one below it. So they're a little bit different. And then about a third of the way through, I'm going to do like a larger one on the top and a smaller one here on the bottom. So again, they're different. And then a third of the way the other way, going to do the same thing. A large one on top here and a small one here on the bottom. Add a little bit of floral charm to that. Now, I thought that looked really cute. I thought I could also add maybe a few more flowers to the pot below because I also have like the floral moss down there. So I'm just going to glue a few more here just around the rim, but that step's totally optional. I just thought the more flowers, the better. I love flowers for spring. Using them a lot this year. I guess I always do for spring, but seems to be I have a little bit more floral and a little bit more pastels this year. But I really love pastels for Easter. So I think these flocked eggs are perfect. This is what it looks like so far. I thought it needed a little greenery and any of like the greenery ivy and stuff like that I had, and those flowers, nothing had a leaf that was about the right size. So I'm just going to borrow some from another spring plant. These are just like the pink roses from the Dollar Tree, but they have these really bright green leaves that are not too large. And so I'm just going to cut some of those off and I'm going to do one of those leaves between each one of the flowers, just kind of gluing it onto the moss. I'm cutting off the stem completely, having them all kind of go in the same direction to kind of give you like an ivy feel as it's wrapped around. So I just hot glue the first 3. Now, between the pink and the yellow egg, I'm going to do the same thing with 3 more of the leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those down. And then I thought it would be cute to kind of like reverse alternate the direction where I had all of them pointing left on the first one. I'm going to have these go all to the right just for a little bit of variety. And I'm glad I decided to decorate between the eggs. It really made the topiary look way more festive for spring. Just cleaning up any of the moss and any strings of hot glue there with my heat gun. And this is how it turned out. Isn't it super cute? It was so easy to put together and I love how it turned out. And it's a great use for those flocked Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree. They also have these in like this giant string ones. You could totally do that with them as well. There's also some glittery ones if that is more your vibe, but I'm really digging the flocked stuff they have this year at the Dollar Tree. And that little Cottontail Farms bucket with the Easter bunny on the front is the perfect final touch. Okay, for the next DIY, I actually had to go to Walmart to get the Easter ears. They were $2.86, I think there. The reason why is because I needed bigger ones. These are the ones that I got at Dollar Tree. As you can see, the ones from Walmart were twice as big because I needed some big bunny ears and I didn't necessarily want to make them. So, thank you to Walmart for having the giant bunny ears. Then I picked up some of these little laser cut Easter words from the Dollar Tree, and I picked up one of their wood rounds. This one was from the Dollar Tree Plus, so it is a nice chunky wood round, really good for $3. And I want to make a really beautiful wall hanging with this. You could also use this for like your entryway for your front door. It'd be really cute. I'm going to measure this. It's about an 11-inch wood round, about halfway through there so that I can use some painter's tape. And what I want to do is do a wood round where half of the wood round is painted white and half of it is stained because this is such a beautiful wood. I love these signs from Dollar Tree Plus. It's nice to kind of have a higher end option on the wood round. Now, for the bottom half, we're going to be using Antique Wax by Waverly. So I just put my painter's tape down and we're just going to go over it with one coat of this, and it really stained this wood so beautiful. The wood grain on there is really nice. And we're going to do the top part in white. So I just did one layer all over, kind of doing the sides too, trying to make sure everything had a little bit of stain on it. I wiped off the excess stain with a paper towel, trying to avoid getting any on the top if I can. And you can see how beautifully that's stained. Now, it was a little bit darker than I like, so then I went over it with a baby wipe to kind of take off a little bit more of the stain and kind of soften the color up a little bit, and I like that a little bit better. Super easy way to stain, and it dries really quickly. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the tape and kind of make sure that the stain is really dry right here at the top so that I can put some painter's tape on there to kind of tape off the other way so we can do the top half of the bunny sign in white. This turned out so nice and so high end. I think I could probably even sell this if I wanted to, but I love it for my Easter decor. So for the top part, we're just going to use white acrylic and just go over the whole thing. I want to be doing a happy Easter sign, but I want it to look like a bunny head. That is why I got the giant bunny ears from Walmart. So I just went over with a nice coat of white, giving that a good dry. I did go over the edges a little bit here. It needed a little bit more. And I am going to have to go over it with like another coat because I want to make sure that it is a bright white at the top and none of the wood kind of shows through. I really want like the colors to pop against this. And I'm going to be using like all wood lettering from the Dollar Tree to do the sign. So for the Easter, I found this great little cursive Easter. I actually found this in the Crafter Square, not in the Easter section, but a great way to do a sign like this. I would like it to be a tiny bit larger, but I think it will work. I just painted mine white using a toothpick because I kind of got a little bit too much paint on that. And I want that to be nice and white to pop against that like stained wood background. So I did go over it with a couple of coats of white to make sure it is super white and just touching up the top of that too to make sure that it is very white. And then I'm just going to kind of make sure that it's dry, especially like where my painter's tape is, so I can go ahead and peel that up. Now this painter's tape did great. I got no bleeding whatsoever except for the very edges where there's that, decorative edge. So I'm just going to use a baby wipe to kind of remove any excess paint there. And we're going to do the little Easter right down here, happy at the top. So I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue, a little bit like on every letter, but not too much. I don't want it seeping out. And we're just going to glue the Easter to the stained wood part down here. I love how that wood looks. Then for happy, I'm going to be using some of the Dollar Tree wood letters. I actually had the letters for happy, which is great. I've been kind of having trouble finding these wood letters lately. I need to stock up again. I want it to be a soft pink, so I'm just using my pastel pink Posca paint pen to paint these. And you know what? This was a really easy way to paint these wood letters. I don't know if I've ever tried using a paint pen on them before, but look how easy and well that worked and very little cleanup. So we're gonna have it just say Happy Easter, and I want it to look like a bunny head. So then we're gonna have the little bunny ears coming out of the top. Actually, big bunny ears. It's turned out so fun. And so I got those painted. They dried really quickly with the paint pen too, so that speeded things up. I'm gonna have a P right in the very center. I'm not gonna measure anything. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball everything and just do a little bit of hot glue here on the back of my P. That Ryobi hot glue gun likes to spit out a lot of hot glue. I probably should have used one of my other hot glue guns because it was difficult to get just a little bit of hot glue on the back of these, but we're gonna make it work. So once I got the P centered, I did the H and the A on the right and the P and the Y on the other side, kind of spacing it out evenly. And I love that I chose to use pink. I was going to do something different with that, but I can't have too much pink this year for spring. It is definitely my color this year. So these are the ears that we bought from Walmart. And I'm just going to have to find a way to detach them from the headband. Now, they were wired really nicely with a thick wire, which kind of made cutting that more challenging. So I'm using like my heavy duty, like KitchenAid scissors, but once I got to the wire, I kind of had to switch it up to my floral wire cutters from Dollar Tree to get through the wire because my KitchenAid scissors couldn't quite do it. So I just kind of kept switching up the scissors until I was able to disconnect both of them. And I got them off pretty good and intact. Now it's just a matter of attaching the bunny ears to the back. So we're just going to flip over the sign, kind of make sure everything stays in there, the wire and everything like that. And I'm just going to use my staple gun. This is a nice thick sign, so using a staple gun on this is no problem whatsoever. And staple that to the back. And then kind of do the other bunny ear coming from the other side. The great thing about these is that they're wired, so I can bend one of the little ears to make it look super cute and show lots of personality for our little Easter bunny sign. And I think that looks really cute. Look at that. Happy Easter with the bunny ears, the giant bunny ears. I'm going to kind of fold that one over a little bit, leave this one straight. I think that's super cute. And I want to make sure they stay really in place. So I kind of stapled mine a lot to make sure they're actually kind of like as one piece with the sign itself and that they're not going to go anywhere. And this is how it turned out. Our little happy Easter sign. I had an idea for this one and I'm so glad I was able to pull it off. I usually don't shop at Walmart, but I had to go there to buy a new SD card for my camera that could have been corrupt, causing all my camera difficulties. And this one, I'm glad I went to Walmart because I found those really cute little bunny ears to do the happy Easter sign. Isn't it so cute? I found one of the little chunky bunnies from my Dollar Tree. Aren't these so cute? I got the bunny, I got the eggs, I got the chicks. I love them. And I designed a great little floral printable, and I will share a link to the free printable below for you. As you can see, it's a very cute little pastel flower scene on a white background. And I just printed mine out on white cardstock and we're gonna cover the bunny with it. This was such an easy way to decorate these little chunky bunnies. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking me how to decorate these because I posted that I found these on Facebook. So I just use a pencil and we're gonna sketch out the cardstock on the back on our great floral background. If you had a floral like scrapbook paper that you liked, that would work well too. But again, I will include the link to the free printable so you can recreate this cutie. So as you can see, the shape is definitely not that intricate. It's just a matter of cutting that down to size. I'm trying not to, I'm trying to cut like right on the line so I don't really have any wood showing in the final product. Even though it is a nice wood on the bunny, I love it covered with the floral print. It just really made this piece is so easy to do, but it turned out so beautiful. So just kind of taking my time, cutting this out, trying to make sure I don't mess up so I don't have to do it again. And that looks pretty good. So now we can attach that to the front of the little Chucky bunny. I've got like a couple of the chicks and I picked up like 3 of the eggs. I have lots of fun ideas for these things. They're so nice for $1.25. So we're just going to simply Mod Podge the cardstock onto the front. And the reason that I use cardstock is because when you Mod Podge, it does not wrinkle hardly at all. So I'm doing a thin coat and all over the bunny, and then we can just lay that bunny that we cut out from the floral paper right on top. Isn't that so pretty? I love this design. And I'm just going to use a paper towel to make sure it's good and down. I don't want any bubbling or anything like that. And kind of let that start to dry and kind of clean up any Mod Podge that might have seeped out on the edges of our cute little bunny. Such an easy DIY, and it just turned out so pretty. I was able to do a pretty good job cutting it down. There was only one little area here that I had a little bit of paper overhanging, so I'm just using a sanding block from the Dollar Tree to kind of clean that up a little bit. And then once I have it on there, it's starting to dry. I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge the top of it. That's another thing. You don't really have to wait for it totally to dry when you're using cardstock. And so I just did another thin coat over the top of it to seal the project and make it, not just look like it is covered with paper and make it a little bit more durable. Then I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree twine, cut a piece of that. We're just going to simply wrap that around the little bunny head here and tie that off. We're just going to do like a simple little bow. I kind of want it to be kind of over to the side a little bit like that. Nothing crazy, but just so classic and cute. And so I just tie that bow off, kind of trimming the tails. My tails kind of wanted to stand straight up, so I just trimmed them down short so that they wouldn't really stand out too much. And I just love how this cute little guy turned out. There it is. That's a way that you can decorate those little chunky Easter decorations from the Dollar Tree this year. And I always love it when the Dollar Tree has a new craft product for a season. This is how it turned out with that beautiful floral design on the white background. I think he is precious and would look great with any Easter decor. I told you I was really into flowers this year. Isn't he sweet? Another fun idea would be to put him on a candlestick. I think a wooden candlestick would be really cute and prop him up. Okay, it's time for the final reveal. I really hope you enjoyed these 8 Easter Dollar Tree DIYs and got lots of crafting inspiration. Let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Crafty Little Beach if you like watching shorter videos on your phone, and enjoy the final reveal.
Nobody knows me like you do. You just read my mind. Nobody gets me.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's video. That always helps my videos do better here on YouTube. And I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of my YouTube members. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, I Am Mojo Jojo, Live Another Day, Marin Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Donna Tanner, Kim Rogers, Maria Cruz Pagan, and Sarah Tratner. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Bum member, all you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. You're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube, a badge next to your name, and a shout out thank you in every video. I would also love to see what you've been crafting. Be sure to show off your DIYs. We would love to see them. Join the private Facebook group linked in the description of today's video, and we would love to see you over on Facebook. Now, would you like more crafting inspiration for Easter? Be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting and happy Easter.